Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to talk about deck number 317, the Mono White Teshar. Now, I don't know if I've said it in a while in one of these. My goal, the mission that I'm on, is to build a deck, because I don't take them apart, to build a deck of every legal legendary creature. I believe that's in the 700 range as we speak, but of course they keep printing more and more. We're getting like 16 new ones at the end of the week because, you know, C18, we had 44 in Dominaria. But anyway, it's a bunch. You can't really search Gatherer for it because Gatherer includes a lot of things like the Kamigawa flips that start out as regular creatures and then turn into legendaries, which is not legal for Commander, and then the banned ones. Anyway, but that's what we're doing. And today, this is deck number 317. Mono white artifacts, pretty much. Historic, there's a little bit of a historic theme here. Well, I mean, it's a lot because there's a lot of artifacts, but here is an interaction that I have loved since forever. Okay. Sun Titan. We all know what he does. You get the CMC3 thing back from your yard. Well, the cool things I use are Wayfarer's Bauble, but more importantly, Burnished Heart. Because Burnished Heart gets 2 lands and just straight to the battlefield. Now, and every time the Sun Titan attacks, you get back to Burnished Heart, you sack it, you get 2 more lands, and you are really, really thinning your deck, increasing the quality of your draws. And if you've got something cool like Emira, stuff starts happening. So, anyway, let's look at some ramp, I guess. It's hard to... Yeah, there's a lot of ramp, the gold mirror. And I use a lot of ramp that is, in fact, creatures. Simply because, you know, they got a body attached to them. Of course, there's the Lotus, the Mind Stone, Hierophant's Chalice, and the Diamond. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Now, I didn't even read Teshar. I'm a noob. Here, let's put those back in there. Teshar. So what are we trying to do here? Whenever you cast Historic Spell, which is, you know, a good chunk of the deck list is, of course, on Tapped Out. The link is in the show notes. You get a 3 CMC back. Now, that is what led me down the road to Burnished Heart, which led me to Sun Titan, which led me to Emira. I don't have a lot of Emiras, but, man, the ones I do have are indexed with those couple cards. That little interaction also works with Armored Ascension, because, you know, you might as well be beaten face with a big, nasty, flying Teshar. Why not? Of course, we have Jorah's Familiar to make those artifacts cost cheaper. Let's look at some of these artifacts. So if you got Jorah's Familiar out, Skull Clamp is free. That seems fair. So is Elixir. Now, I tried to keep the artifacts, obviously, under that 3 mana, at 3 or under. Cathedral Membrane doesn't see a lot of love. I guess I understand why it's not, you know, you ain't beaten down with it, but it's a blocker that can kill things. And Phyrexian Revoker in this deck has a little more use than normal, simply because you can get it back when it dies. Choose another card. I mean, of course, we got our Swiftfoot Boots. Wow, the theme just keeps going. The Sword of the Animist here. Let me see if I can angle that a little bit to get the... Well, it just looks weird. Still getting basic lands out for that Emira Ascension. Wow, we need a... Almost kind of makes you want to play with the sweep cards. Just kidding, not really. Workshop Assistant. Going to get another artifact back. Now, of course, we have a lot of artifact dudes, so Tempered Steel is going to go in there. Treasure Hunter. Get that artifact back, you know? Why not? Now, I like Avenger and All, simply because, number one, the card you're discarding, if it's a CMC3 or less artifact, you can get it back. And to be able, by the way, this is mimicking the card Exile, where you spend 2 colorless and a white, I'm sorry, 2 generic and a white, to do that effect. Which is a really neat card, but to have it repeatable is amazing. Salvage Scout, here again. It's under that 3 CMC, and we can get it back to get the artifact back. Kami the False Hope. Now, Dauntless Bodyguard is kind of the jam here. Sack it. Make Teshar. Yeah. It's really good. Toolcraft Exemplar just seemed to play well, because I was like, eh. And, of course, since I've got Toolcraft Exemplar, I put Smuggler's Copter, because why not? We're white, we ain't blessed with a ton of card draw. Now, the Ether Sworn Canonist is, may or may not be good. I'm thinking we're about half up. I haven't really, it's been a while since I've analyzed the actual deck list contents, but it's going to hurt everybody else way more. It's going to hurt us because we're playing with things like the Great Hope. That our Cub is our enchantment destruction that is reusable. Thank you, Teshar. Mere Retriever was kind of obvious, as well as Scrap Trawler. I love that art, by the way. Danitha. I don't know if y'all read the storyline or not, but I love Danitha because Jorah was going around trying to round up her crew from the descendants of the original crew, and she went to Danitha, and Danitha was like, ain't nobody got time for that. So she got the little annoying little cousin Raph. Leonin Elder. Heart of Kieran. Also, you know, part of that thing. Reinforcements or refreshments. Treasure Keeper with the reverse cascade. Death Cascade. Now, I had to put the Weatherlight in because it's me and I love the weather. This was the card. I had a chance to pre-order one of those 6-foot playmats with this on it right when and I passed it up. And I feel like that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Y'all know I'm a kind of a small Vorthos. Maybe not that small, but anyway. This card sold the set for me. They could have printed 268 junk cards in Weatherlight, and it would have been the best set ever for me because this. Anyway, Bygone Bishop. Since we're already doing the CMC 3 or less, might as well, you know, go all with it. Draxos. Big beaters never really hurt things. Bishop of Rebirth kind of goes with that 3. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. It's white and it's an artifact. And it doubles as our board wipe-ish. Of course, we got Baird. Now, the Sanctum Guardian, I like, because you just prevent the damage by sacking him. You get him back with Teshar, and as long as somebody ain't exiling, you know. Of course, Foundry Inspector is going to make stuff cheap again. Sun Cleanser. Now, I like Sun Cleanser, But it feels, in this deck, it feels an awful lot like a Doomblade. It is the low CMC, so you can get it back, but it doesn't really have a way to sack it or to kill itself. So now, in Blink decks, I can imagine this is going to be huge. Energy, experience. The only thing it doesn't do that we want it to do, we want it to kill walkers. But a 2-mana white walker killer would be a little too efficient, I believe. So, we have Fanatical Devotion. It is an enchantment. You sack a dude to regenerate a dude. So, and then you just get that dude back. Of course, we have our one-shot Weatherlight, the board, the Weatherlight. Good old staple cards. Disenchant, Sword to Plowshare. Dispatch kind of fills in here. Good chance we're going to have the Metalcraft. You got the Metalcraft. This is an insane card. Scourglass. I'm sorry, not Scourglass, Soul Scour. But now that I think about it, Scourglass wouldn't be a bad idea in this deck. I should listen to my brain more often. Dispeller's Capsule. Artifact or enchantment, and it's recursive. Illumination. There's, as I've said before, there's not a lot of difference in Illumination and Disenchant, besides they get the life. But you know what? Nobody expects it. And I've actually tilted some folks by Illuminate, because you just don't expect a white counterspell. But it's the same thing as, okay, it hits. Now, there are some corner case variations where you don't want it to hit. You don't want it to hit the table. And this is why I've got Illumination. Ritual of Restoration. Clean, simple, 1 mana. And our last card is Brave the Elements, which I almost didn't put in. It was actually the last card in the deck. I almost did not put it in because, let's face it, over half of our creatures are artifacts. But our general is white, and that's kind of what tipped me over the edge to actually including it into the deck. I don't think I've got any other special lands. I'm giving this a try. The Zhalfirin Void. Yeah. Why not? I mean, it's really good if you're running like bounce lands and stuff. Maybe I need to replace one of these planes with a Karu, because I don't think I'm going to have trouble getting out the basic planes for the Plains Matters cards. And maybe there again, maybe I need a few more Plains Matters cards. Although there's not a lot of Plains Matters as much as there is like Swamp. Gosh, of course, that's the idea with Black, is Black wants you to play more Black, and that's why we have things like Phyrexian Obliterator for specific and so many specific Black. Black wants you to play more Black. But anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching. I'm just rambling. I guess you can see what tomorrow is. Izareth. I had a lot of fun with Izareth. But we will see you then. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.